You are so far into the movie here. We haven't even got to the first day of school yet. We haven't got to the first day of school yet. We're so far into this movie.
Together. They went to the fucking bar and danced with the old guy.
None of that has happened yet.
Yes, it has.
No, what?
Did you actually listen to me while I was doing the write-up? Were you listening when I was talking? Because obviously you weren't.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, you're right. You don't read it again.
Go to
you don't need to read it again.
To go dancing.
You don't need to read it again.
Do we not have a domestic on the show right now? Okay.
Live from the D&D studios in downtown Boston, it's showtime. Welcome to Hey, did you ever see that movie? I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely little co-host, Lynn.
I'm responsible for the spiritual life of this community.
And joining us again, the podcaster, packing heat, Tony 2.0.
That's what you get for sniffing spray starch.
And unfortunately, we will be without Mikki this week. She had other plans. Okay. This week, we will be discussing the 1984 coming-of-age movie, Footloose, written by Dean Pitchford, directed by Herbert Ross, starring Kevin Bacon, Laurie Singer, John Lithgow, Diane West, Chris Penn, Sarah Jessica Parker. As always, this podcast will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, then come back and listen to the podcast. Sarah Lee.
And the tradition continues.
He called her Sarah Lee Parker like seven
Sarah
times
Lee,
today.
Like she makes the cakes. Sarah Lee, sure, we know her. And Diane West, you know Diane West.
Yes, she's related to Adam West.
Yes, she was Batgirl, I think, right?
I believe so.
Please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening on YouTube, it's really going to help us out, guys. It's free to do, and we'd really appreciate it. Check out our merch store at vvr.printify, printify.me. Go over there, get your Reservoir Ripoff coffee mug or your, hey, did you ever see that movie? Reservoir Ripoff t-shirt. They're great t-shirts, good quality. And again, you would be helping us out since we do this show out of pocket. So there you go.
And we prefer to call it a borrowed concept. Rip-off is such a crude term.
It is. It's cheap.
We just borrowed some of these concepts to propagate our own skills, talents, and abilities. So we really appreciate your support. Thank you.
It's a loving homage to Reservoir.
Homage, yes, of course, darling. That's just perfect.
So, coming up on our next show with Original Flavor Tony, I finally got it done, guys. You're all so excited. This is the ultimate cult classic. This one is called The Stoned Age. If you know, you know. So, your homework will be, and I tell you people, look for this movie. It's called The Stoned Age. If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to rent it. You can probably get it for $3 on Amazon. It's a fucking awesome movie. If you love hair metal, if you love rock and roll, if you love comedy, if you love all that shit, this is your movie. This is like Airheads, only way better. So,
damn.
Yes. So
you got me going. I'm gonna actually leave the podcast and watch it as soon as we're done because that sucked me right in, bro.
Oh, Tony, this movie is fucking awesome. So The Stoned Age, go see that.
I will. I'll check it out.
Let's do some opening thoughts on the movie we're doing this week, Footloose.
Chicago, wow, man. So what do you do there?
We danced our asses off.
Hey, you the new kid? You won't get any of that here.
What's that?
Dancing, there's no dancing.
If our Lord wasn't testing us, how would you account for the proliferation these days of this rock and roll music?
So you really can't dance here, man?
You're playing it kind of loud, weren't you? Is there a law against loud music?
Let's watch that attitude, boy.
Going over the state line. I want you guys to see what you've all been missing.
You just seem to be having a lot of trouble since you moved here. But it seems a lot of people are pointing a finger in your direction lately.
You know, I'm busting my balls trying to fit in here, and every door is getting slammed in my face.
I've heard he's a troublemaker.
Just because he hasn't lived in this town for 20 years doesn't make him a troublemaker.
He's been here and you're gonna try and throw a dance.
There was a time for this law, but not anymore. See, this is our time to dance.
I'll get us started. So I am, of course, familiar with this 80s classic, but it has been a long while since I sat down and watched it from beginning to end. And in fact, I think I watched the reboot more recently than I've watched this one, which was okay. Question is, will this movie stand the test of time? I mean, that's always the question, isn't it? Let's find out. Tony, Footloose. Familiar with it?
Yes, obviously. I think Footloose is one of those films you could probably say if you grew up in that generation, you saw at least some parts of it, if not the entire thing. I did not catch it in the theaters, but I did see it with the advent of, cable television and or reruns at some ungodly hour of the morning, because it definitely is a milestone. I think if you grew up in the 80s or that generation, you've seen it, or at least you understand the general gist of it.
It's funny, when I wrote this out originally, my opening thoughts, I was like, oh, it's a movie I've seen a million times. Because I thought, I know I have. But
right.
I thought I was going to get like The Karate Kid, like fun, teen angst movie, little drama, but light on the drama, no. Okay. This is closer to Urban Cowboy than it is to The Karate Kid. I did not remember it being this movie. I had blacked out many parts of this movie. So it's fun. When we start getting into this, you're going to notice like little spoiler alert. You're going to notice that I start off hot and heavy for this movie. And as the
shock.
Yes. And as the show goes on, you're going to see me
a tone change,
realizing that I wasn't as familiar with this movie as I thought I was. So, Dylan, how familiar were you with Footloose before coming into this podcast?
Very much like you. I thought I was very familiar with it. I was like, oh, this happens, that happens, forgot half of it.
Yeah.
Literally completely blacked out half of this movie. And it was the parts that I blacked out that are the most technically important parts of the movie.
Yeah.
So when you watch it, and especially like Des and I was having a conversation earlier about how when we watch movies now from then, how your perspective has changed. One, because you're more of an adult now, but two, because societal norms have changed and what's appropriate has changed. And I watched this and I was like, oh shit.
This movie got stuck between two genres. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a fun, teen comedy movie with a little bit of angst like The Karate Kid, lightweight, easy to consume? Or is this a dark, like heavy drama, more like, Urban Cowboy, like I said, which it really kind of reminded me of. This almost felt like Wes. I was saying to Dylan, this felt like Wes and Sissy from Urban Cowboy, like back in high school. Like this feels like that town and that world to me, but we'll get into it. With a box office budget of $8 million and a box office gross of $80 million, this was considered a huge success by the studio. It was actually the 7th highest grossing movie of 1984. I would have thought maybe a little higher, but this actually did come out just before The Karate Kid did by a few months. So there were some big hitters that year. 84 was a big year for movies. So let me give you a synopsis. A big city teenager moves to a small town where rock and roll and dancing have been banned by backwards local parents, and his rebellious spirit shakes up the populace. There you go.
It's the way you accent it that makes it sound so good.
It is. It's okay. Salty.
Salty. Straight up salty,
my
baby.
gosh.
Yeah.
Chicago natives Ren McCormick and his mother Ethel moved to the small town of Beaumont, Utah to live with Ren's aunt and uncle after the death of Ren's father. Ren sits through a sermon by the local pastor Moore, which he obviously finds to be overbearing and uncomfortable. Later, he meets the pastor, his wife Vi, and their daughter Ariel. Ariel doesn't stay to hang out long, and she leaves with her friends. She plays a dangerous game of chicken with an 18-wheeler before going to the local burger joint to play forbidden music on her boyfriend Chuck's boombox before her father arrives to give her some spending money, catching her breaking the rules. So we get a really few interesting things right off the bat here. The townsperson like running to tattle to Reverend Moore. They're going to teach that book that we talked about. And, Ren's like, what book? And they're like, oh, Slaughterhouse-Five. Isn't that a disgusting name? Ren's like, oh, that's a classic. I've read it. And they stare at him like he's a crazy person. This is a great way to show the difference between a kid coming from Chicago going to this very small town. But also, I had not read Slaughterhouse-Five, so I did not know what it was about. So I went and looked. It's an anti-war message. It uses the main character's PTSD to show damage done by traumatic events like war. And I realize now this is foreshadowing for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Dropping the name of this book is a foreshadowing of this movie because Pastor Moore is grossly traumatized by the son's death. Of course, spoiler alert. Sorry, I told you. He's grossly traumatized by his son's death. And his PTSD leads to him creating these massive sweeping rules, trying to save everyone. And he's really just causing more trouble, especially when it comes to Ariel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dylan, I'm glad that you mentioned that scene because that scene in particular, there's a lot of really great actors in this movie and they're not used to their full potential, unfortunately. A lot of these characters aren't fleshed out enough and a lot of their relationships were not earned like they were in Good Will Hunting where, I was having breakdowns. I was crying in that movie. These characters, their relationships were earned. They meant something to me. This one, it didn't. There were several times where it was teed up for a good cry and I just didn't get there because it just wasn't flushed out. But, there are moments where these actors will shine, like Dylan's going to talk about, one where the Reverend's wife is, acting her ass off without saying a word. And this scene for me has one of the best delivered lines in the movie. And it's when he's talking about Slaughterhouse-Five and, he says it's a classic and, he's like, and, the Reverend says, not in this town. And, he says, it's a classic in any town. And I just thought it was a powerful line. It had a lot of weight. This is the moment where he is going to go nose to nose with fucking these ideas in this town. And I just thought it was really heavy, really well acted scene. So the first thing we see in this movie is this tiny farming town, and it's surrounded by mountains, which I thought was fun because it really made them feel kind of cut off, like sort of isolated. Really neat opening scene. We also see this sign at the edge of town that reads, the risen Christ is King, Beaumont First Christian Church, the Reverend Shaw Moore Pasture. This is heavy. I mean, this is telling you what this is about. This isn't a football town. This is a Christian town. And this opening scene is set to Reverend Moore's fiery sermon. So in the first 2 minutes of this movie, we know exactly what this small town is all about. Next, we're going to get a look inside the church as Reverend Moore is kicking ass with his theatrical, passionate, sweaty sermon based on the dangers of having fun. But what we're also going to see in this is some of the town's teenagers looking like they have zero interest in this sermon, while the parents are hanging on every single word. We also get a hint that this small little group of girls over here in the pews, they don't know Ren. So leading me into this conclusion that, he's new in town. He's got to be. This is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. So I thought this was a great setup to the story. Tons of information with almost zero exposition. As of right now, this is my kind of storytelling.
Yeah, I'll give it to you this way. I think that the best part about this movie is you're not quite sure what you're getting to. You think it's going to be youthful frolic and goofy shit, and it's deep on a couple of levels. Yeah. And by the way, Dylan, I had read Slaughterhouse-Five, but it was so long ago.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't begin to tell you. I mean, I knew Vonnegut and I knew his style. All his books are, kind of counterculture, if you will, to say the least. But they're so well done because he's such a good writer. And it's to the point of, he faced that, it wasn't like, He was in that group with Ray Bradbury and Fahrenheit 451, which is basically a book about a guy who burns books, and it's the kind of thing where in that kind of unknown period, they never name the town, right? They don't give you a state. It was filmed in Utah, which is why you see those beautiful snow-covered mountains in the background. But I didn't realize that this was actually based on a real story out of Oklahoma, where it was one of those, no dancing, no drinking, no card playing, none of that, we're God-fearing folk here. We don't do that devil, whatever, worshiping. And eventually the school board had a vote, and it was a 2-2 tie. And much like, our friend, the pastor here, decides to go back on his original ideas, the president of the school board said, I think we should let him dance. And he cast the deciding vote. And
Really?
They allowed the kids. Yeah. And
So
they allowed the kids to have their dance. And guess what? No one was hurt. There were no illegitimate pregnancies. It was not the downfall of Western society.
Sounds like a boring dance.
Yeah, probably. Either that or, let's be honest, nobody got caught. And that's the key. It's not what you do so much as what you get caught doing that really makes it a problem.
Absolutely. But you know what? You bring up a really great point, because you're saying, nobody got pregnant, nobody got her. But like, they're doing those things anyways, without a dance, without drinking, without drugs.
Look at
because
Ariel.
one of the first things that Rusty says to Ariel is so-and-so is pregnant. So, and that's one of their friends. This isn't like someone's mom is pregnant.
Yeah.
It's one of their friends. And as we'll talk about later, Ariel is a fucking train wreck that is constantly putting herself in danger without having a single drop of alcohol in her. So,
right.
Tell someone you can't do something, and what are they going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know the difference, that it's living the classic stereotype of the PK. She's a preacher's kid. She's going to be a rebel. He's going to tell her you have to live your life in a Christian and godly way. And she's going to go, shove it up your bunghole, man. I know how to live my life. I don't need you telling me shit. Right. And especially to the idea that there's obviously a soft white underbelly of this town that is rotten, because I can't remember his name, the character, and I apologize. I thought I had it written down, and I'm looking for it and I can't find it. But the guy she's kind of messing around with,
Chuck.
Chuck Cranston. Thank you. He is obviously a dirtball, and the guys he rolls with, I have the weed, and they're kind of the baddies in the film, and this and that and the other. But who's the guy that gets his finger put on him? Well, that's obviously the new kid, right? Because everybody doesn't like new kids. And it's,
Right.
It's the hard way to go. And he's a rebel, and he reads this smutty Vonnegut book, and, he's not one of us, and anybody that's not one of us ain't no good, and that. So, it's a good, heavy story. It reminded me, and I hate to say this, but it's a blown up after school special.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Remember those after school
Yes.
specials that used to be on? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, Des, unfortunately, they introduce a lot of things going on at the same time. So it's hard to flesh it all out for the
Yes.
director, because, he's got like 3 subplots running at the same time. And is it a fun frolic movie? Is it an after school special where there's a moral to the story and we're all trying to learn something? Or is it just to stick it to the man,
Yeah, we don't get a lot of payoffs in this. We get a lot of setups, but not a lot of payoffs. And again, it gets lost between two genres. So, where we could have had this really like heavy drama, and we could have got more of the preacher's wife and the preacher's story, and this could have been flushed out and hit us hard at the end. None of that happens. None of it happens.
Well, and I think we get a toe dipped in the water, which
Yes.
at
Yeah.
one point is enough. Because let's be real, like you said, I think Diane Weiss does a great job of acting, sometimes without speaking.
Oh, yeah.
The looks she casts from her eyes to him, they say volumes, and they do a great job. Those two actors do a great job of making it look like they're a 25-year married couple, that they know what their response to something is before they even say it.
But to that point, when you have two actors like that, you have to lean on that subplot harder, and you have to flush it out harder. They're the two best actors in the movie, and they could give you like a Oscar-winning performance, both of them together.
Well, I don't know if this is an Oscar-winning script.
Not as
but
it's
you're
written.
right. They are both excellent at their craft.
Not as it's
I
written.
even give Kevin Bacon a lot of credit as a young actor. I did not give him props. He's not De Niro, Pacino, you name it. One
Yeah.
of the great actors of
No.
that generation. But I think he does a very admirable job
He
of
does.
being both a goof and a serious, kind of character. When he needs to turn it up, it goes to 11 because it's one louder. And then when he needs to draw back, it's okay. He's likable. He's staunch. He's firm in his beliefs. He's got a spine. He sticks up for what he believes, and he takes no shit.
No, he
And
doesn't.
That's my
He's
kind of guy.
He's tough in this movie. And we'll get to
yeah.
it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's coming up. So for me, the charm of this movie, like we were saying, it is the characters. I mean, we learn here
Right.
that Ariel is actually the preacher's daughter, which is pretty cool. We get this great scene where she meets Chuck after school or after church, whichever it was. I think it was after church. And first, I want to talk about the truck that Chuck is driving. We get the boom box. We get the rifle. We get the Pink Floyd sticker. We get the Grateful Dead sticker. So again, with zero exposition, I know exactly what Chuck is all about. I mean, that truck just says, this is what Chuck is all about. I thought it was really great. Glenn and I were talking about this on the way back from Wally World today. Ariel playing chicken with the semi truck. She has a death wish. She's literally trying to commit suicide here. Chuck doesn't grab her and pull her back into the cab of that truck. She's letting it hit her. She just is. She's not making an effort to get out of the way.
She's making bad choices.
Yeah. I mean, these characters have soul. I have to say that all of these characters feel like they have history together. And that's not easy to do. This feels like a group of kids that have known each other since fucking kindergarten, presumably.
Yeah.
And the movie itself.
And they portray it. Yeah, they portray it well.
Yeah, no, they do. And the movie itself has, at least up to this point, before it turns into a Broadway musical, a real world feel to me. But that is going to melt away quickly.
I even like the opening shot of the dancing feet or the dancing shoes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very unique in this style. And it also represents their shoes of every type and kind. They're cowboy boots. They're actual
Dude,
Capizio
the bowling
dance
shoes. The bowling shoes.
Yeah, I love that.
I want a pair now.
Oh, there you go. Well, bro, I'm sure you could go to the bowling alley and buy a pair of used bowling shoes to dance in.
I want a pair.
As you probably know too, they're really not good for shit because they don't have any traction, right?
No, but they look cool. In New England, that would be deadly wearing bowling shoes.
Oh yeah, dude.
During the winter,
it'd be great. You find an icy hill and then just hang on for the whole ride, baby. Right straight down. But I mean, I think it's great because it's a representation of all the characters in the movie. They all have different shoes. They all have different ways of dancing. They're all kind of goofy. None of them really fit in. They're not perfect characters by any stretch. And individuals are as different as can be. I mean, even though they grew up together, but Laurie is not like, Laurie Singer's character, Ariel is not like, anybody else.
Sarah Lee's character, like Sarah Lee's character.
Rusty, yeah. Sarah Lee, Sarah Jessica Parker, but okay. Who, by the way, I'm normally not a fan of. She was great. She was great in this movie.
I have seen every episode of Sex and the City and seen all the movies and saw the reboot, the reboot they did on HBO.
All right.
It's a guilty pleasure for me.
Listeners, you've seen a side of Des that no one really gets to see. So there you go. We give you these little nuggets of wisdom from now on time to time.
And for the record, I'm not watching it with him.
Dylan, we had no fear of that. That's why you're the rational and intelligent one in the relationship. We know.
So finally we get this scene at the drive-in where we see the fractured relationship between Reverend Moore and his daughter, right? He's not coming there to give her money. He's gaslighting her. He's coming there to check up on her. Oh, your mother thought you might not have any money. Bullshit. You're lying. That's a sin. We also see that here that the
Thank
Reverend's
you, Father.
We also see here that the Reverend's presence demands respect from the town's youth. And it's almost weird. It's in a Twilight Zone kind of way. Now, I did think the director went crazy here with the idea that these people are so starving for music that when Ariel turns on the radio, they lose their minds and break into a full Broadway musical dance number. This is where the real world feel just fucking washed away. And I was like, oh man, that's too bad. Because if this was just going to be the Karate Kid, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, take your pick, whatever, right? Then that's fine. If you want to give me some goofy, fun dance number, I'm okay with it. But you can't sell me this real world dark drama and then have this in it. It just doesn't work. It's Disney on Ice at the drive-in, and immediately this does not feel like a real world to me anymore. It was weird, and it broke the feel for me that he had created up to this point, and this is where I started getting nervous for the movie.
At school, Ren befriends Willard Hewlett. He soon learns that the town council has banned dancing and rock music within the town boundaries. After school, he gets himself a job at the local grain factory. Ren catches the eye of Ariel, angering her boyfriend, Chuck Cranston, who challenges him to a game of chicken involving tractors. Ren wins the challenge, but only because his shoelace gets caught on the foot pedal, so he couldn't jump off. Distrusting Ren's influence, Reverend Moore forbids Ariel from seeing him, but since when does Ariel listen to her father? Ren drives Willard, Ariel, and her friend Rusty to a bar past the state line to go dancing. Willard, unable to dance, becomes jealous and gets into a fight with a man dancing with Rusty. On the drive home, Ariel describes how 5 years earlier, her older brother died in a car accident after a night of alcohol and dancing. Their father then persuaded the town council to enact strict anti-liquor, anti-drug, and anti-dance laws. Ren decides to challenge the anti-dancing and rock music ordinance so that the high school can hold a senior prom. So at this point in the movie, I'm asking myself, like, am I supposed to like Ariel? Because I really fucking don't.
She's a cunt.
I just really don't like her. I really don't like her because I feel like she's creating problems for everybody.
She is fucking Allie from The Karate Kid, like on 10.
But worse.
But same idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her father is causing every kid in the town to suffer, but she's an asshole to her friends. Yeah. Like when they go to that drive-in, she's like, "Hey, get me some fries." And the girl's like, "Get your own fries." And then she's like, "Hey, so-and-so, bring me some of her fries." You're a fucking asshole. You almost fucking gave everyone a heart attack. You made the girl drive off the fucking ledge. You're a dick.
Yeah.
Like, knock it off.
And this isn't the first time she's pulled shit like this.
No.
Yeah, and the sad part is that even in a small town, do these people really get away with that shit? Because let's be real, you burned me once, shame on you. You burned me twice, shame on me. Because I went back to the stove to see if it was still fucking hot.
Not a big law presence in this movie, though, which was surprising to me. We're only going to really see the cops once.
Yeah,
they're not really supporting and enhancing a law enforcement perspective.
Well, no, this is a town that's lawed by fear of God and fear of the preacher. That's the law in this town. They don't really need the police to do much. The preacher has got this town on lockdown.
Honestly, I think Ariel is in need of more therapy than her father, and her father needs a boatload. Also, she moves on to Ren before she ever officially breaks things off with Chuck, which will come in later.
Chuck don't own her.
Oh yeah, but we all know especially when you're in high school, if you're dating somebody, you can't just drop them and move on to somebody else because consequences.
Yeah,
but
don't be drama. There's gonna be drama, baby. You know what though? She loves it. She's the kind of chick that she quests that whole stuff.
Yes.
I mean, even to the point of, she's that girl, her hair is always so. You know what I mean? It's like,
she likes the attention.
Yeah,
she likes
come
the
on,
attention.
bro. You wanna fixate on someone else because this is not the girl for you.
Yep.
But
So she's stalking Ren because when you think about it, when she shows up at that factory train yard thing, like he had been at home doing his homework. So how does she know he's there? Like he just shows up there randomly.
Small town.
Like she's stalking him. She's looking out for him.
Right. And plus, he does drive a very distinctive yellow Beetle. So he sticks out like a sore thumb.
True enough.
I love the fact that he's banging your head with Quiet Riot because that is just so not this movie.
I know, right?
Yet they tried so hard to bring in other kind of genres of music, which is something we'll get to. But I love that. That's the first Ren we get is Quiet Riot.
Yep. And I also have a problem with her behavior at this train yard. She once again has complete disregard for her own life and safety, and it's at the expense of somebody else. Ren has to jump in and save her. She was going to probably just let herself get flattened, and then, that's terrible. They try to use the poetry that she's written at the train yard to soften her, but at this point, I friggin' hate her guts, so it's not working for me.
Yeah, she's a fucking
she's a bitch. She's just a very high on herself, spoiled little girl who is coddled now by her parents because they lost their eldest son. So they're trying to cling to her so that she doesn't turn into a fucking zombie banana self-destructive idiot.
Too late.
Yeah.
Right. But the sad part too is that's the best part. Dad is so busy curing everyone else's ills. He doesn't see the rot in his own home because his daughter's defiant and tells him exactly where to go and what to do when he gives quote unquote orders. That's
Yeah.
why he has to stalk her and check up on her, because he knows she's the bad seed. The other thing, though, is that if I can, Des, real quick, I love that scene where they're all kind of, they're tapping their toes and bopping their heads, and somebody turns the music up, because nothing personal, especially the people working there. To me, the only thing that saves you from the drudgery of some shitty fast food job when you are 17 or 18 years old is the fact that you get to play your music.
No, I'm fine with that. It was the fact that every single person at the diner was breaking into Grease. It was like watching Grease.
Well,
it was insane.
I think you're a little over dramatizing this musical aspect.
No, I'm not. There were people doing gymnastics. There were people doing backflips. I mean, it was insane.
Okay. Here's the other thing. I'll give you that, but I think that's kind of a metaphor for the rebellion against the man in this movie, right?
It was over the top.
And it's to the idea that as soon as the Reverend shows up, it's like you're ripping the needle off the record, and everybody's going, "Oh, it wasn't me. It was that guy. I didn't do it."
So we get this first day of school scene, and this felt like it was really paving the way for the Karate Kid that was going to come out later that year. We're going to get and I don't know where these were written, like who wrote what first. Did somebody see something first? But we get the new kid in town, Ren, Daniel LaRusso. We get the pretty girl dating the bad boy, Johnny and fucking Allie. We get the protagonist. It feels like he's looking for trouble, as he's getting it. I mean, this is the Karate Kid. This is it. I mean, it's right there for us. So this opening scene really gave me that Karate Kid vibe. We're going to meet Willard, played by Chris Penn. One of the shining spots in this movie for me. I thought he was really, really good. I love the character for two reasons. First, he's now Ren and our guide through this town and this movie. He's going to help us understand the rules as he explains it to fucking Ren. He's going to let us understand the different personalities of the town, of the people that are in it, people's backstories. This is all coming from, Ren asking him questions and him answering or volunteering the information. So I thought that was very clever to have him as our guide. Secondly, he's got Ren's back. And I thought this fast friendship that they developed, I thought it was believable. But it felt like love at first sight. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is where this is going to start this idea I have about this movie. This is the most believable relationship in the movie. I mean, they literally bump into each other in the hallway in school and they're in love. I mean, they are. Their eyes lock. It's just, they're from this moment on inseparable. I'm never going to feel like Ren and Ariel have this kind of chemistry. It's forced. It's sweaty. It's not real. This is legit fucking bromance going on here. So next we get this scene where Ariel delivers Chuck's challenge to Ren. And I love how unimpressed Ren is with her and all of her bullshit. And, he's been this since the first scene where he sees her and he lock eyes. He is showing her zero interest. You know why? Because he's not interested. Just like Christian's not interested in fucking Cher in Clueless. He's not interested in Ariel. So it's very easy for her to for him to ignore her. And not only is he not scared of Chuck and his challenge, he's almost amused by the whole thing. He's laughing to himself. So what am I going to get? What am I going to see when I get to Chuck's farm? Well, I guess you're going to have to show up and find out. He's laughing to himself. There is no fucking fear at all. He's like, what are these fucking backwards idiots up to? Next, Willard gives Ren Ariel's backstory in the gym. Again, great guide through this movie. He's going to tell us everything we need to know about her brother, the whole thing. He says, I think she's been kissed a lot. I thought that scene was great, and it's going to play back later in the movie. And it cuts to Ariel and Chuck messing around right off that. I think she's been kissed a lot. We cut right to the woods. They're on a blanket. He's presumably just nailed her in the woods. Ariel tells Chuck she's cut out for more than this small town, and she's going to college. And at that moment, we know she's attracted to Ren for his experiences outside this bizarre little Twilight Zone world she lives in. She doesn't know anybody like Ren. And she is starving for what he is about, what he represents, not necessarily him as a person, not necessarily the way he looks. She just is attracted to what he represents. And that's important, I think, in this relationship we're about to see.
Oh, absolutely. They never earn the relationship between the two of them. It felt really forced.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, it's sweaty. And she's begging him to kiss her at times. And the first time they do kiss, we'll get to it. It feels like a fucking mercy, like a pity kiss. Like it's no passion. It's not earned. This is not an earned kiss. It's not building this relationship. So next we get the chicken race at the tractors. This is a great scene. I mean, this is right out of the fucking Kenny Loggins video. These are the things that stood out in my mind about this movie. This is what I remember about the movie, these things. It's a fun scene, but honestly, it didn't feel very dangerous to me. I mean, they're going like 10 miles an hour, and I Googled it. These old 70s, early 80s tractors, they'd only go like 20 miles an hour top speed. They're not going fast. I feel like if they had just both stayed and hit head on, it would have just been an anticlimactic bump. You know, like nothing's blowing up. There's no fire. No one's going through a windshield. This isn't two cars going at each other at 50. This is pretty lame. But we do get the Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero song, which is great. And this reminded me of a story. So when I was like in junior high, I got chlamydia from my girlfriend. And I had accused her of cheating on me. But it turns out you can get it from sitting on a dirty tractor seat in a bathing suit. So there you go. I was wrong. She didn't cheat on me.
Did your ex-girlfriend sit in a lot of dirty tractor seats, or what happened?
That's what she said, Sean. When she said she visited a relative that had a tractor, and she had been in the pool, and she had a bikini bottom on it. She sat on the dirty tractor seat, and she got chlamydia, and then I got it. She didn't cheat on me, dude.
Was her name Ariel? Just kidding.
Okay.
That's a nice story. Thanks.
Well,
Thanks, Des. You got any other stories of communicable diseases that you were willing to share?
If you guys recognize that story, write in. Leave a comment on YouTube or wherever you're listening to the podcast in the comments.
Right.
I want to see who gets it. I want to see if anybody gets it.
Right.
And finally, we get this this montage that I can only describe as a weird fever dream sequence where Ren goes to a warehouse and becomes a combination of Tony Manero and a sweaty Spider-Man before being confronted by a very sexually aggressive Ariel. And when she gets home, she throws Ren under the bus to her father, getting him kicked off the gymnastics team, just like Allie and the Karate Kid. This chick is fucking trouble. What a bitch, man. Unbelievable. Why would she do that? Seriously.
Because she's selfish.
Right. Because the whole world revolves around her.
Yeah, it's bad. And then this is where this movie starts to really shift into this, like I was saying, this fucking urban cowboy type feel. It gets really dark and sweaty and country here. We get this sweaty bar scene where children and grown-ups drink, dance, and fight together. It's really weird. And Willard gets his ass kicked by a 50-year-old guy who wants to take his 17-year-old girlfriend home and fuck her. This is so fucking weird to me. I'm going, what is this scene? Why did this director feel he needed to put this into this movie? It doesn't fit. This is like if Daniel took Allie to some like 80s fucking LA bar and with like 50-year-old guys, and dude, it just blew my mind. I was like, this is so weird. The whole section of the movie, starting with the fever dance scene with, Peter Parker and Tony Manero, is where the movie starts to just come off the rails for me. We also learn here that it's Ariel's brother that was killed, which started all the music and dancing bands in town when they're driving across the bridge. So lot to digest there. The movie gets really dark, really, really dramatic, and really weird. And it just completely swerves out of the lane of teen coming of age movie and just goes somewhere else. I don't know where, but the fucking
Willard is embarrassed that he can't dance, so Ren teaches him in an overly long montage.
Oh,
Chuck,
the gay is thick here. Not that
Chuck
there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not. Chuck confronts Ariel about her feelings towards Ren, and it turns into a physical altercation, with Ariel punching first and Chuck finishing the job. With no one else to call, she calls Ren, who comes to help her conceal the marks on her face. And this cements their relationship because there's nothing like going from one guy to the next before the bruises even heal.
Oh, it's good
Later that night, Chuck and his buddies throw a brick with the words "burn in hell" through the window at Ren's house. When his uncle criticizes Ren's outspoken behavior, Ethel tells Ren that though his actions cost her job, he should stand up for what he believes is right. First and foremost, Ren's uncle is a dipshit. He's a dipshit. He just is. He's a sheep. He's going along with the fucking herd. He's a dipshit. If outspoken behavior is typical teenager behavior, because that's what Ren is doing, it's typical teenage bullshit, the town is in complete denial. These two little girls that are living in that house are going to grow up just like Ariel.
Yeah.
Because with that fucking brain trust at the helm, what are you expecting? These girls are going to be hot messes too. Yeah. Also, I'd like to talk about the Chuck and Ariel fight. Yes, she swings on him first. Yes, he hits her back. It's shitty. She's shitty for taking a swing at him to begin with. But she takes it to a place that is fucking insanity. Grabbing that friggin' pipe, breaking his headlights, hitting the windshield.
Joanne, if I ever punched you in the face, my Mini Cooper would be dust. You go out there and burn that thing to the ground before you smash me in the face 100 times with a lead pipe. So don't even go there. That pipe scene was the most believable thing in this movie. He had it coming.
Oh my God. I mean, he's a total piece of shit, so I don't blame her for doing it, but
I was actually shocked that he didn't get the lead pipe over the top of his fucking noggin, because nothing personal, but at that point, it's every person for themselves. You want to start beating women, you're going to get it. And she shouldn't have started hitting the truck. She should have started creaming him, put him in the fucking hospital or the morgue.
Wow, guys,
but,
okay.
So, Tony,
I take it back.
So, Tony, this scene.
No, she's a shithead, and we've established that. The difference is, so is he. That's the mutual attraction there. And now it's the idea of, let's see who can be a dumber motherfucker faster.
But this scene, this really played a lot like Sissy in Urban Cowboy. You know, she's getting hit by her husband. You know, she's getting hit by Wes. And, you know, and it's aggressive, and these scenes are graphic, and they did not pull any punches here for a teen coming of age movie. This is a very, very violent assault that she absorbs. So,
and it's actually pretty well done, considering, you know, there's no CGI in this. This is all good stunt work, and it looks like a real fracas, a real fight.
Oh, it absolutely does.
And I'd also like to mention that the ire towards Ren is her fault. Now, yes, he's listening to Quiet Riot with his radio turned up loud and stuff like that. But she tells the preacher, I was out with Ren.
Yeah.
She's the one that's running around, kind of catting around with Ren, and pisses off Chuck. So he throws the brick through his window. It's not just because Ren sucks. It's because Ariel has fucking stirred up this hornet's nest, you know, and Ren says to her, you don't get to turn my fight into a screw you to your old man, because that's all of everything she does is a screw you to the old man.
Yeah, I feel Ren is less guilty of antagonizing his, antagonists than Daniel was in The Karate Kid. But 100%. I feel like Ariel is definitely right there with Allie. So during this weird shower scene in the boys' locker room, we are going to get a lot of naked boys' asses, a lot of naked boys' bushes. I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Hold on. I'm going to have to stop you there, because you said this to me, so I went and watched the movie again. I did not see a single bush. Did you watch a different film than me?
There's a bush. The kid is, his ass is facing us, then he turns around and walks towards the camera, and they cut it right at where his dick would be, and you can see his big black furry bush. It's disgusting.
I didn't see it.
So
Des,
yes,
I'm gonna give you a heads up here. Sex sells,
but not. I don't want to.
But wait a minute. This is a relatively wholesome movie. There is no sex scene in the film, so you gotta put a little chum in the water if you want the sharks to bite.
These are high school boys. Give me the girls' locker room.
So wait. So instead of seeing some chick's rack, you got a rear naked shot of a guy. Are you not able to handle that?
And a bush. It was the bush.
Oh my God. And a bush, kids.
Because
It's
as
the
you know,
80s. You were freer in 1984 than you are in 2024.
Listen.
It's a fucking sad day.
I like a bush in a movie. I just don't want it to be on fucking Little Johnny.
I like a bush. As long as it's manicured.
Yeah.
It's nicely trimmed.
But we also learn here about the town council that Ren will need to go up against if he wants to put on a dance. Now, I thought it strange that this information had to be delivered to us in the boys' locker room while they're all sitting there in towels and they're like literally naked boys showering everywhere. So again, this is setting a vibe for me in this movie. It just is. You can't not read it this way. I didn't remember this movie being littered with so many strange scenes like this. I just don't know why the director is doing this. Like, can we get another naked boy in here? You turn around and walk towards the camera. Yeah, just like that. I mean, it's just like, I don't know why I was so distracted by the setting that I was getting this information delivered in. It was just out of place. And it's just,
He also has a lot of trouble with being in a men's locker room at the gym.
I was gonna say, I don't think you
not.
showered with a lot of other men in your earlier
He
years.
does not like it.
what?
He does not like it.
Oh, bullshit.
You were
True.
not.
Listen,
You did not
it's true.
enjoy. You
Listen.
did not enjoy gym class, did you?
I love taking showers with men.
All right, the truth comes out now. Look
At
out.
this point, the movie was starting to drag a little bit for me. I was starting to get nervous. Next, we get another weird montage where Ren is teaching Willard to dance. To Let's Hear It for the Boy. Let's hear it for the boy. This whole fucking thing is Ren and Willard in tight jeans. And he's, hear it for the boy. You go, Willard. You shake that fucking ass. And he'll come up behind him and hold his hips and move it like this, Willard. Now you're rocking. Come on, man. I'm getting Brokeback Mountain vibes here all day long. This relationship is earned. It's earned. They're slow playing it. It's a kettle. It's boiling. It's getting hotter by the fucking second. Neither one of these guys has kissed a girl in this movie yet, right? And honestly, love at first sight in that hallway. They bump into each other, their eyes lock, and it was just, I want to be with you. 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 Yeah, it's love at first sight. They feel like a couple.
Do you have any other conspiracy theories you'd like to put out?
Oh, this isn't a conspiracy theory. They're a couple. Tony, talk about it. They're a couple.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Of course
and I'm
you
gonna
are.
Say, well, because that's my job.
Wait, this is coming from the guy that didn't think it was inappropriate for Clark to get a blowjob in a car with his children.
You're an immovable object, and I am an unbearing force. So there you go. Right? We have to clash, or this show would just be me going, "You're so right," and I'm not doing that. So
don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna give it to you. All right, I'm gonna give you the hard, the fast, the nitty, and the gritty. These two butt heads day one, right? Because Bing Bong Willard has got his 10-gallon fucking cowboy hat that looks ridiculous.
I'll agree.
And Ren calls him out on it. And he says a really good quip about,
so good.
That shop you bought that hat at. Does it have men's clothing too?
I love
so
it.
he's
Again,
he's already started an innuendo sexual joke.
No, again,
and the best part is,
you're
go ahead.
You're making my point for me. Do they sell men's clothes in that store, Willard?
Here's the key. No, he didn't say it with a lisp.
He didn't.
Not only that, but you're stereotyping. Don't do that.
I know.
All right. So, but I love the fact that Willard takes a minute and you can see the little mice running in the wheel in his brain. And he says, all right, now I can put a zinger back on this guy, or I can realize that this guy's got a sharp wit and he's a good dude and I'm going to be his buddy. So I don't think there's a problem with that, number one. And number two, although the dancing sequences are a little bit, oddball, the whole fucking dancing sequences in this movie are a little bit fucking oddball. Because if you've ever been to a goddamn dance of any kind of organized, not just going to some club on a Friday night, but like a prom or a swinter dance or a, what do they call that thing where the girls ask the guys, Sadie Hawkins or anything like that. It's dry as a popcorn fart and it's boring as fuck. And half the time you're sad you went because you like so-and-so and she's off with, Chuck fucking Cranston or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Tony, They didn't even add Ariel or Sarah Lee to that scene. All we're getting is fucking Willard and Ren to Let's Hear It for the Boy. That's it. Just
I love how
of them.
you've decided the title of the song they're singing. First of all, you did a nice job in the film of trying to incorporate a shitload of different music. I mean, I love the Kenny Loggins because I was a fan of that, but it's the kind of thing where he's only part of it. They broke a couple of artists like Bonnie Tyler. I think she won a Grammy for that single. It was in the top 100, the whole 9 yards. She wasn't even a known artist at the time. And I Need a Hero for the chicken tractor fucking gig. That shit doesn't fit there.
Okay,
There's nothing heroic. There's nothing heroic about that.
It does though.
You didn't save a kid from a burning building.
It does though, because
it doesn't fit.
It's because what the director's trying to say here is that Ren is going to be the hero and he's going to save Ariel from Chuck and take her out.
And he shows us this by getting his fucking shoelace tied around the clutch or the brake or whatever the fuck it is. And the poor kid can't even jump off the tractor because God knows he tried about 4 times because he wanted out. But he's the unlikely hero because he sticks around because he has no recourse.
Tony,
and we find out it's Chuck who's a lightweight.
Tell you what, Tony, I'll come by. We'll put Let's Hear It for the Boy on, and I'll teach you how to dance in some like tight chick pants. Me and you, we'll just dance the night away. When you start getting out of rhythm, I'll put my hands on your hips and I'll make sure that your hips are rotating properly to Let's Hear It for the fucking boy. And you tell me that ain't some gay shit right there. Okay. Okay. Let's
Des might have had a little too much caffeine because he's not drinking Cafex.
I am
the drink for people. Okay. Well, maybe they're putting too much guarana in the Cafex and it's affected you.
Tony's like your fucking invitation to my house revoked.
That's it. You step on my front porch, boy, you're gonna get my shotgun. Keep it up.
Okay, so finally we get the brick through the window, and I honestly don't think Chuck needs to worry about Ren stealing Ariel. Ren is a fancy boy. He is. And no matter how hard he tries to hold on, Ariel's leaving him, and she's leaving that town, and it has nothing to do with Ren. Ren, at the very best, is going to be a kiss behind the bleachers and forgotten. This relationship is going nowhere. So,
yeah, I think you're right. Ren's leaving town too, though.
Yes,
because
they both are.
He's a Chicago. Yeah, he's a Chicago guy. He's only there because of other forces that have acted upon him and his mother.
Correct.
This is just a whistle stop for him. This is not the end of the line kind of deal.
Yep. And her too.
Yeah, and let's be honest, to her, this is the only goal. She's living to get the fuck out of Dodge. So yeah, I got you.
And they're not leaving together, even though that's what she's pushing for. Let's jump in your fucking little Transformers car, your little Beetle, and get the fuck out of town.
Okay, that was a Camaro, but whatever.
It was a Camaro, Dylan. Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. With Ariel and their friends' help, Ren goes before the town council to advocate revoking the anti-dancing law. He reads several Bible verses and cites the scriptural significance of dancing as a way to rejoice, exercise, and celebrate. Although Reverend Moore seems moved, the council votes against Ren's proposal. Vi, who supports the movement, tells Moore that he cannot be everyone's father and is hardly one to Ariel. Despite further discussion with Ren about his own family losses and Ariel telling her father that she is not a virgin, Reverend Moore does not change his stance. The next day, he finds members of the congregation burning library books that they claim endanger the town's youth. Realizing the situation has become uncontrollable, Moore stops the book burners, chastises, and sends them home. So I have a hard time understanding why the Reverend isn't psyched about the book burning. I mean, yeah, there's the scene where he's talking to the other guy who had found something in one of the lockers at school because they're going through the kids' lockers at school. But you know, he's all for censoring kids and telling them what they can and can't listen to, you know, but he wants to censor things the way he wants to censor them because music's not okay. Oh, but Tchaikovsky's fine, but Quiet Riot isn't. But you can't only have it your way. If you're going to say you can't have music, you can't have music. You can't start banning Slaughterhouse-Five and then the next thing you know, it's Lord of the Flies. And then it's, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And it doesn't stop because everyone has an issue with something. And when you censor creative works, it just turns into this slippery slope.
Sure.
But I will say that the MVP of this entire movie is Andy from the grain mill. You see him at the town meeting and he's looking at Ren and giving him the thumbs up. And without him, eventually there is no dance. So just wanted to put a shout out to him.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because you know what? He's that guy. He's been there his whole life too, and
Mhm.
he's that fella who's learned to navigate the straight and say, "I'm going to play the game, but I'm going to play the game my way. I'm not going to play the game the way these jackasses running the show want you to play it."
Yeah, and it's been 5 years since the kid died and all these laws went into effect, so he
Right.
remembers what it was like before.
Sure. Not only that, but he probably remembers when he grew up, which 20 years ago or whatever. They probably were more free then than they are
Yes,
now. And it's
exactly.
to the idea that he obviously takes umbrage to that, but rather than speak out and become a target, he just navigates kind of circuitously to say,
Yes.
"We're going to get you what you want, but we're going to do it our way because we're going to do it a little different."
He's a
Yeah.
middler.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and nothing personal, but that's probably the way that you need to go about things, because in those
yeah.
kind of towns, everybody gangs up on you when you try
Oh.
to swim upstream.
Yeah, you look what happens to Ren's uncle. I mean, and his mother. I mean, they're
Right.
shunned for his behavior.
Sure.
So this is where the pacing really hits the wall for me with this whole kids versus the council thing. We get Bible verses, we get court proceedings, we get weird friendship kisses between Ren and Ariel, and this relationship does not feel earned to me. It just feels off. I wish the director had just left them as friends. I really do. I feel like there could have been something there where, again, they start talking about maybe leaving town together. And, this just isn't going to be a relationship. He's going to have her back as a friend to get away from Chuck. I would have been fine with that. I mean, I would have been fine with him being gay. I think it probably would have been cool. I mean, he's this great dancer. He's got style. I mean, it just would have worked for this movie, and it would have actually made this this contrast between him and this town for me even better. I know that back then there was a lot of, in Hollywood, it would be hard to make a movie with a character like that. But
Yeah.
I think it would have been bold, and I think it would have made this movie better. I really, really do. They were trying to do something different, and I think they missed an opportunity there. And this idea that Ren would destroy his entire family standing in the community over this dance is honestly ridiculous. Even if he did hold the dance outside of town, there would still be backlash against his family. Period. It would be a fucking problem. He should have backed off after the brick and the job being lost and his uncle losing business. It's becoming a serious problem for the family. After the brick and his uncle losing their business, I mean, I don't know. It just gets weird. We get this 1800s book burning scene. And it is, again, it's just bizarre. It's just so over the top weird. The whole town is they're burning books in front of the library. Like, this is the 1800s. It's the fucking 80s. Like, I don't care how brainwashed this fucking weird little town is. It's not going to go there. And then the preacher.
Oh, I would disagree with that. I mean,
Yeah,
there are
and
people that censor and burn books to this
But
day.
I mean, Willard
Right.
even says it's not like we don't have Family Feud. It's not like they're not that backwards.
Okay, but here's the difference. You're talking about acolytes. You're talking about people who are essentially automatons. They don't think for themselves. They are given a goal and their job is to reach it. They're not individuals. They are just a herd pointed in a direction. He is the shepherd. They are the sheep. They do whatever. Now they got an idea of, the preacher said burn the books, or whatever. Then he freaks out and he says, "I never told you to do this.
I
What
know,
are you
and
doing?
he
You can't."
did though.
But here's the thing. He's broken. He's a broken character like everybody fucking else in this movie, right? Because let's be honest, that's why this movie's a little conflicted, because it's a little broken too. And not necessarily in a terrible way, but to the point of he knows that he's got, foibles and problems. He's overcorrected because of what happened to his son, which was a tragedy. But now he's at a point where he doesn't know how to stop it. You know what I mean? He doesn't know how to curtail it. He's got to kind of do this. I think it must have, this town must be a collection of fucking robots, because apparently everyone runs to him with everything.
Yes, he's
There's
the law.
never any There's never any phone calls in this town. They all speak to him, because the rumor mill must be incredible, because he finds out everything minutes after it happens.
Small town.
You know what I mean? Oh, so-and-so said this and such and nothing for, and I know you're going to try and do this. And it's like, who the fuck does that? What are you, adults? Or are you all 7 years old? Y'all going to tattle. That's what they're doing. They're all tattling.
But he shows up at that book burning and he starts like judging them for doing what he has basically brainwashed them all to do. And now he's saying,
Yes.
nope, all the rules are changing. And this change in the Reverend wasn't earned. It happened in 2 seconds. The director just said, now he's this.
Well,
What?
maybe it's to the concept that he's finally come to the realization that he has gone too far.
No, I
Right?
agree.
Right.
Because he never specifically tells them go burn books. What he says is, I'd like to stop these things from occurring, because
Yeah.
he really wants to go back in time and save his kid,
Yes.
but he can't. So to do that, he concentrates on the future and says, well, from now on, we're not going to have this, this, and this. And that's like, that's not going to save anybody, because
Yeah.
as Delin said, they're doing that shit anyway, bro. You just,
Yeah.
they do it in the shadows. You don't see it. You don't know about it. It goes on, but because you don't have an organized way to bring it into the light, you pretend like it doesn't happen.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is anytime someone tries to censor a book, you should read it because there's something in there they don't want you to know.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Now,
That's the rule of thumb.
Even to the point that there are books today that are still flagged by the FBI that are available at the public library. The reason they keep them available is because they know when people check them out.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's how they build a profile on people who are sociopaths, psychopaths.
Right.
They have, whatever issues. They look at what they read, and potentially that's the idea that they can then narrow down a list of people. If you're reading Mein Kampf, if you're reading, whatever,
Mhm.
The
pick a
Anarchist
controversial.
Cookbook.
Exactly.
But you remember we learned that in the movie 7, because that was, remember they went to the library
Well,
and started getting,
right.
getting
Yes,
leads.
that's where it really came to light, but it's also to the idea that 7 shows you that database is often drawn upon.
Well,
shall we say.
now that is probably more like YouTube videos that are flagged, for giving too much
No,
information.
the internet is a source of censorship? I can't fucking believe it.
So, we were talking about this earlier in the movie, these two great actors, the preacher and the preacher's wife. And, somewhere in here, there is this great story about a preacher's wife and a daughter, and, a preacher forced to face his past pain over losing his son and how it's affected his relationship with his daughter and his wife. And with these actors, man, holy shit, this could have been a powerhouse subplot. And it just never happened. And that was a damn shame for me.
Yeah, they kind of took the easy way out, sadly. I mean, there could have been more. And I'm sure Des will give us a subversive plot twist ending that'll make it fun. But
Tony, I think you explained it best. I think they just bit off more than they could chew, and there just wasn't time to flesh all this stuff out properly.
right. And you know the deal. That's the toughest part about filmmaking is you have to condense a shitload of stuff into basically an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't get to everything.
But you can cut down some of these dance numbers, like that. Like, for instance, that diner scene, man, where he confronts her in the beginning of the movie, that didn't need to be a whole dance number. We could have got the chef, flipping the hamburgers, and we could have got like the waitress kind of boogalooing out, and then just got right till the exposition between the preacher and his daughter. That time could have gone into the house, into conversations between the preacher and his wife.
Yeah, actually, there's the part where Ren goes to ask the preacher, can I take your daughter to the prom? And they have a conversation, presumably,
You don't hear it.
about the son dying, and you don't get to hear that conversation at all. That's like a huge, really important conversation.
You just see the little snippet at the end, and it's like, hey, everything's great. Great to meet you. Thanks.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and
what the
Ren is confiding in him about his father, which we don't get
Right.
that information either. He's telling the Reverend what happened to his father, and we don't get that information. That's a fucking problem.
A super huge, very important conversation that
But-
the entire emotional maturity of the movie could have
The
sat
two
on.
lead characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
was just
Right.
was boiled down to him showing him a photo of his son.
Yes.
Like, what?
Basically 40 seconds. But sadly, too, you could do, you talked about pacing, Des, and it does drag us a little bit in the center because
Yes.
they try to go too far, too fast with stuff and whatever. But it's the idea that you could see that conversation lasting a good 10 or 15 minutes.
And how great is that 10 or 15 minute conversation if you see the preacher's wife in the kitchen overhearing it with a tear coming down her face as she hears how her husband really feels about what happened to the son, and he's never been able to tell her, and now she understands his pain, and we see her crying, and now I'm crying, and then we get to the field and they hug, and fucking that feels like paradise, and I'm fucking
I never knew you
sobbing.
went to film school. I'm sobbing like a child.
But we don't get any of that here. What a missed fucking opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just, even for the simple edification of the characters, you just give them a little more gusto to flush them out a little and make us give a shit, you know?
Yes. So here's the thing. They gave us a musical because you get scenes that last the whole song.
Too much.
So this is a musical. And unfortunately, when you're trying to shove all these music videos in with all these different subplots and all this, it's too much.
Yes.
You've packed this 3-pound bag full of 10 pounds of shit, and it's falling all over the floor.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, and it's like it's a huge problem because it just doesn't work. Then you cut some of those musical numbers down and make, instead of 3.5 minutes, make it 45 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, you figure
you
they
have
give
more
us,
time for the
they give
important
us
shit.
four or five songs in this movie. You're looking at almost a half an hour of the movie just being rock videos.
Well, and you know the thing too, like we said earlier, this movie it's conflicted. It's got issues because it's not sure of its purpose. This is not a coming of age simplicity film.
Nope.
It is not a simple moral lesson to be learned, and then everybody leaves, hugs, and is the closest to friends. But it's the idea that it's trying to do 4 things at once, and it's like an amoeba. It's going in a lot of different directions, but it's not really covering a lot of ground.
How great would that scene have been if the preacher's mom was in the kitchen listening and we got all that? It would have really built that up.
And I mean, and I'm fine with Ariel overhearing it too. Like if Vi and Ariel both overhear from different parts of the house, and you actually get to hear the conversation, so we understand where the pastor's coming from, so we understand where Ren is coming from. But they literally gave us like 10 seconds of it and was like, "Okay, the guy's leaving now." It's like, what the fuck was that?
Or maybe Ren leaves and then he is with Ariel and he's like, your father confided in me. This is how he really feels about your brother. You need to fucking, you need to, communicate with him. And then they
Stop being
have
an
this
asshole.
Yeah, they have this moment. Maybe he tells her about his father. You have problems with your father. My father died like this. They cry together. They hug. We get an earned kiss and they start falling in love, but we never get that. She just says, Ran, kiss me. And she's all dirty with the black eyes like, all right. And they're in love. Oh, that's great.
But you gotta remember too. No, they're not in love. This is not a love story.
No,
it's not a love story.
No, Willard and Ren are in love. They never lost contact.
Then
again.
there's that. I'm not touching that with.
Oh
the
no, wait.
17 foot
Okay,
anyway.
let's get away from the gay thing. Just because I want to make this point. Do you think that after Ren leaves this small town, he stays in contact with Willard?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So there you go. This is whether it's what I'm saying
but
or
that
not.
doesn't mean they're either platonically in love or they're passionately in
bromance. Love. Just hard bromance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romance is fair.
I got you. Yeah. Hey, I didn't interlude fucking let's hear it for the boy. And I didn't interlude the locker scene. I'm just speaking on what I saw. So Lynn, let's do this thing. Final act.
Okay. The kids fix up the grain mill just yards over the county line and beyond Beaumont's jurisdiction for their prom. Reverend Moore asks the congregation to pray for the kids. Ren comes to take Ariel. On her wrist is a corsage that was bought for her by her father. That night, Moore and Vi listen from the outside the mill and they embrace. Chuck and his friends arrive, clearly not there for the dance, and attack Willard. Ren arrives in time to even the odds and knocks out Chuck. Ren, Ariel, and Willard and Rusty join the party and happily dance the night away. Footloose 2. Everyone has a detached retina from getting glitter in their eyes. Electric Boogaloo, okay?
I had Electric Boogaloo written down too. I literally had Electric Boogaloo written down too. That is so funny.
I have to ask, you guys give me your opinion. There was no CGI in 1984 that I know of. But this rain of glitter is hours long, or so it feels in the film. Yeah. How did it even
Dude,
transpire?
It was insane.
I had a lot of questions about this because I have quite a bit of experience with glitter between Rocky Horror and being a goth kid and everything.
Your
and
time as an exotic dancer, we know.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
I think what they did was they sprinkled them with a little bit of glitter, so it would be like in their hair and a little bit on their skin.
Right.
But then in front of the cameras was the thing that was just like raining.
Okay.
So
because you can tell there's a depth issue. So that would be an excellent
because
kind of description
you
of
can't
how
put
it
glitter
works.
like that in people's eyes and in their mouth. It would be a huge
they'd
problem.
be choking and hacking and
Yeah.
blind. Yeah,
It was
right.
Yes.
fucking crazy.
And it was just so over the top too. You know,
Yes.
it's like, come on, man. This is such a good scene. Don't fuck it up with that. But
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, but it wasn't a great ending scene because there's no exposition in it. There's no resolution to this movie.
But it's not supposed. It's supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be fun.
But it's
There's
too
no
late for fun.
We're not
Tony, it's
solving,
too
we're not
late for
solving
fun.
problems.
It's too late for fun. This movie can't be fun for the last 5 minutes of this movie can't be the karate tournament where it ends with a fucking kick to Johnny's face. Sorry.
Yeah, with a knockout, right?
No, we need
No,
to know
that's-
more. We need to know more. And no, we need at the end of this movie, like I was saying to Lynn, it should be fucking Ren coming out of like a dance studio in New York City and he sees fucking Ariel coming out of like NYU. And they're like, oh my God, you made like
No. Ariel's coming out of some 24-hour shithole.
Strip
Yeah,
joint. She's riding the pole. She's riding the pole.
Because let's be real, Ariel didn't cut it when she went to NYU after dropped out of her first semester.
I like where you're going with that. Okay, so he's coming.
But here's the deal. Like Des is right. The dance is over town lines. They didn't change anything.
Nothing.
They didn't change anything. They didn't fix anything. They didn't change anything. Those laws are still in place.
That's not true. They did change one thing. They told Chuck where to go and got him there.
well.
Okay, so let me take you through this.
We defeated the baddies for now.
So we get this final act, and even though Ren makes good with Reverend Moore, which we don't actually see happen, and even though Reverend Moore starts to see he's been acting a little unhinged and has pushed his town to the point of burning books in front of the library, he still forbids this dance to be held at the high school, right? So problem number one, this should have been fucking Ariel, I want you and your kids to have the fucking dance at the high school. This should have been in the script, but it's not. Then we spend more time in church listening to Reverend Moore backtrack on everything he's been pushing on this poor, confused fucking town. Then we get another montage at the grain mill, followed by more of this super awkward relationship between Ren and Ariel, which does not play when he's picking her up for this fucking prom. It is so weird. It's like he's taking his sister to the prom. It's just we get this scene with the preacher and his wife in the field that was teed up for the big Des cry, but it wasn't earned. It was nothing. And finally, we get another assault on poor Willard. I mean, Willard's being assaulted over and over in this movie, followed by a Donnybrook. Ending with Ren knocking out Chuck, kind of like Mr. Miyagi and fucking Kreese in the parking lot. And then from that punch, they're all covered in dirt. They're filthy. They've been Donnybrooking out in the dirt. He punches Chuck in the face. Boom. We cut to fucking Grease 2. They're going to dance the night away. All the fucking suits have been cleaned. It's squeaky. There's glitter for days. And I was fucking glad this thing was over. And I swear I remembered there being some exposition in this movie. Nope. We don't know shit.
And these kids have not been dancing for the past 5 years because this law has been enacted. Tell me how somebody is like popping and locking and knows how to do come
popping, locking, worming.
Let's be real. If we just had a room full of people doing the foxtrot or the waltz, that'd be dry as fuck. So what are we going to do? We're all going to be absolutely incredible dancers. Everyone's basically taking a solo on this deal.
I mean, Tony, here's the thing. There's a ton of white girl dancing happening here. Like white people, like the fucking white person dance. There's a ton of it. And I'm cool with that because that's what I'd expect from these kids.
The white man's overbite. That's what we do.
The fucking floor lords are there. Someone's fucking windmilling in the back. That was fucking crazy. Fuck this movie.
Let's go to the scoring. Fuck it. Let's see how bad Des is gonna hammer the shit
all right, is
out
that
of this
it? Does
one.
anybody else want to say anything else about this
it.
fucking thing? I think that's it.
No, I think you pretty much cleaned house on that one, bro.
Okay. Let's I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was our fucking discussion on Footloose. Let's head over to the recasting couch. It's so obvious. I'm going to replace Chris Penn with the mighty Sean Penn. I mean, you had to see that coming, right?
Yeah.
Tony, recast it.
I'm going to go a little off the general reservation. I loved John Lithgow's work. I think he did a great job, but I saw Harrison Ford in him in places. So I'm going to recast him with Harrison Ford.
That's fun.
As in the few roles he's been as a serious actor, because normally he's not known for that. But anyway, I also decided to replace Laurie Singer because that bitch is evil.
Oh yeah.
And I said, if you're going to go evil, you got to go Sharon Stone because she's the queen of evil.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So we're going to do a young Sharon Stone to replace Laurie Singer.
I love it.
Okay.
I really like the Harrison Ford idea. I think kind of like in that movie where he plays the Amish guy.
Yes.
The Witness.
Yes, I thought of that. Yes,
Yes.
The Witness, right.
Yeah, that would work for me. Dylan.
So I replaced Laurie Singer with two different people, depending on what flavor you were looking for. Now, if you were looking for somebody with more edge and a sharper tongue, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Nice.
Because this is right around Grease too, so she would be right about that age.
I like it.
Or if you would rather somebody with a little bit of a softer edge, the woman that would become Mrs. Kevin Bacon, Kira Sedgwick. She could have done that, and I think she would have done a good job.
Fun.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's head over to the alternate endings. I have written you guys a lovely one today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
As if we'd end the movie like that. Yeah.
Let's do the Scooby-Doo ending.
Good call.
So in my alternate ending, Ren heads off to New York and he beats out one Tony Manero for the lead dance role in the Broadway show Satan's Alley 2. So this is the reboot of Satan's Alley because the first one did so
was
well.
so awesome.
Exactly.
That's right.
And he meets Jackie and marries her. The end. Oh, Jackie!
Jackie, how could you marry Ren, Jackie? I'm the man for you.
You can never.
I just turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm the man for you, Jackie. Get to the chopper.
Oh my God,
Jack! You can never trust another dancer.
Oh no, I thought it was a guitar player, wasn't it?
Well, no, because he's stolen her. He has stolen her away from Tony Manero after he stole her job.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so Ren goes to New York, steals Tony's job and his woman, and marries her.
Nice.
Okay. Dylan, do it.
In my alternate ending, Reverend Moore doesn't just stop people from burning books and asking them to pray for their kids having a dance. He steps up and explains to everyone that he's lost his way because of his own grief, and he's realized that stomping out all creativity and music in the name of the child he lost isn't the actual answer, and it's just causing more trouble because God forbid somebody actually have a fucking cognizant thought in this movie. While the kids have their dance, the police show up and wait at the town line to arrest them all when they leave, but the parents also show up and they stand in solidarity with Moore and Viv and let the kids pass back into town unmolested. The next day, amendments are drawn up to allow dancing and music inside the town line of Beaumont again.
And you just got your after-school special. There you go.
Yeah, somewhat. I actually had a very similar ending, and it was that the next scene after the dance is the Reverend basically denying his position and saying, "I'm going to retire as the Reverend of this congregation because I've erred in my ways. I'm wrong. I've realized it." And the town then suddenly all becomes, a little bit more enlightened because they take his example. And
they open a disco at the edge of town.
Well, I wouldn't quite go that far, but let's just say every once in a while they let the kids have a fucking dance because
they get a crazy horse too at the strip mall.
That would be good. Yeah.
And fucking the preacher becomes the DJ. DJ Moore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Coming to the main stage, we have candy.
That's it. Remember, these girls are working hard for you, so tip often and early.
Dude, coming to the main stage, my daughter Ariel. There's your ending.
She's our feature attraction this evening.
And then it ends like one of those 80s videos with Ariel coming out onto the pole and it just freezes with her fucking covered in glitter.
It's
two
Jennifer
pasties.
Beals in glitter, right. And with her leg warmers.
I love how that unfolded. There's
Well,
your
when
ending.
you put three great minds like ours together, bro, there's nothing we can't do.
Tony, don't get it confused. That was two shitty minds, and my wife was fucking off in the back of the room with her hands on her head. So
Yeah, going, I cannot believe I have to put up with these two
Holy
chuckleheads.
shit.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay, there you go.
But she's a very tolerant person, so we're kind.
Tony, that was a great podcast.
We burned this one. We burned this one down.
That was a great podcast. I had so much fun talking about that. I was afraid it was going to be a little stuffy, like a Reverend Moore sermon, but that got loose, man.
Oh hell no! This crew, man. We can tear it up. We ain't scared.
That got loose, man. This might be one of my favorite ones since maybe Urban Cowboy. This is a fun one.
All right. Do me a favor, Des. Let me know your score because I got to see how badly you burned this movie.
No, you'll be surprised. Okay, so final thoughts and score. I remember this being way better, and I'd forgotten about all the weird scenes and it being an actual musical, but it is an American classic. I did enjoy it more when I was a teenager. When I saw it when I was intended to see it, when my mind wasn't so critical. And, I also have to take into consideration that we watch these movies to find holes in them or find the shining spots, not just watching it to just watch it. So with all that being said, I am going to give it the respect it deserves. It is Footloose. It did spawn a reboot. It's a little better than average. I'm giving it a 2.6 rewatch score. Tony.
I concur about a lot of things. Although this a movie didn't age super well, I think there are themes running through it that are still being seen today. Yeah. Instead of the pulpit, we now have a digital pulpit that we cancel people with. So we effectively try to cancel your good time by canceling you if you spawn concepts or ideas that the supposed preachers of the day or the town council of the day doesn't like. So sadly, I think maybe we were more free in 1984 than we are today. I do believe that you're right. It wasn't the same movie I remembered. And it might be to the idea that when you're younger, you're just more flexible and you take less issue with certain things.
Sure.
I gave it a 2.70. So
nice.
7.
It's funny. I gauge how good the podcast was by how much spit is on my fucking desk at the end of the podcast.
There's a measurement for you listeners at home.
There's a lot of spit on the desk today.
Well, you were impassioned, my man. You had several moments where I thought maybe one of the veins in your neck was going to explode.
I was going to break into dance like Ren. Go ahead, Dylan. Do it.
All right.
I agree with a lot of the points you guys raised. I feel like even though I had a little bit more tolerance for the movie when I was younger, I am looking at it from the lens of me today, and I am looking at it and going, there's a lot of shit that they fucking missed here. And for me, that's a bit of a problem. So I scored it a little lower. I went with 2.35.
I like it. So, Dylan, add those up. Tell us where it lands on the page. You ever see that movie list, what it's in front of and what it's behind?
Okay, so it comes to 2.55. That lands it at number 96. It is below Hall Pass, and it is above Scrooged and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those three movies that it's above, I don't really care for any of them. And Hall Pass kicks this thing in its fucking dick. Hall Pass is awesome. It should have got a way higher score.
Okay.
So, guys, listen. Do yourselves a favor. I want to leave you with this thought. Go watch The Stoned Age, because we're going to do this with Tony Original Flavor in 2 weeks. He is going to hate this movie. It is going to be a riot watching me battle him. And I want you all to know what we're talking about. It's a very easy watch. It's a lot of fun. If you take edibles, I suggest you take one. Watch it. The Stoned Age. Watch it.
Not that we advocate the use of illicit substances.
I do. I advocate it 100%. I put it in my fucking Cafex. Cafex, if you're trying to get off caffeine, that's your choice. Okay, so on our sister podcast next, Violent Vinyl Radio, we will be reviewing Motley Crue's debut album, Too Fast for Laughs. So get over there and check that one out. And until next time, and I want you guys to really appreciate the cadence that I brought back to the title of this show that I had lost for so long. Ready? Enjoy this. I just have one question for you. Hey, did you ever see that movie? See you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe.